Virus is considered non-living entities. They cannot reproduce by themselves. They need a host. Most are not looking to jump into humans. But why does a small fraction infect us?
Most new infectious diseases enter the human population the same way as COVID-19 did, as a zoonosis, or a disease that is transmitted from animals to humans.
Mammals and birds are believed to host over 1.6 million undiscovered viruses. Don't panic. Although we live in a virus-filled world, we mostly remain disease-free. But we're going to talk about one exception, a virus that successfully transits from one species to another. Scientists call it a spillover event. It's not as simple as just a jump and move, but involves evolution, eventually becoming a different virus. It's a long, complicated process. For example, scientists have found the closest virus to novel coronavirus in nature is an existing strain detected in a bat a few years ago. Their genetic sequence is 96.2% identical. Despite the genetic difference of just 3.8%, scientists say it very likely represents more than 20 years of sequence evolution. At this time, it's very difficult to tell where the virus has been and what changes it has undergone during this period of time. Well, scientists say the vast majority of animal to human spillover attempts likely result in a dead end that never progresses past the first individual. But given the large number of viruses that keep trying, there are always chances to slip through.
Then they face the most challenging task, entering another species' cells. To do so, viruses need to grab onto the molecule outside of a cell, called a receptor, in a process similar to a key clicking into a lock and opening a door. Receptors vary from one species to another, so a virus that can use the human version of that receptor will become a zoonosis.
They didn't start out with that ability, but genetic flexibility allows it to happen, especially for coronaviruses that encodes their genome as RNA instead of DNA. Without a proofreading function of DNA, RNA tend to have more errors or mutations when they're copying over their genetic code, creating more versions of themselves. Some of this may adapt to a new environment, like the human body. In addition, some viruses can make up a new genetic code through a process a bit like sexual reproduction. Two viruses can swap segments of their genomes with each other and create a hybrid that differs from their parents. But no matter which method they adopt to mutate, the process needs time and space.
A research study examined the coronavirus-carrying bat, human, and a potential intermediate host, the pangolin, checking the specific genome sequence that controls receptor binding. That's a key factor in determining how infectious a virus is. It found that compared with this bat version, the virus in pangolins shows greater similarity to the one in humans. This suggests it may have used its time in the pangolin to alter itself so as to be a better fit for a human host.
Meanwhile, more research has revealed new characteristics of viruses. They can hide in their host for long periods of time without being lethal.
Another theory is that this means the key mutation of a successful spillover could occur after the virus hops onto a human, instead of while it remained in an animal.
If that's the case, the theory says the animal-to-human spillover could have occurred earlier, meaning a less severe version of COVID-19 has been silently spreading among humans long before the outbreak in Wuhan.